Hello, greetings to everyone, everywhere, in whatever now you are in, including, of course, the future and imagine nows, particularly since we are actually pre-recording this program, which is going to be published in the future. Today is October 1st, and this event that we are going to be recording with the help of Alejandra Acevedo. Hello, Ale, good morning. And our wonderful guest, artist Helinä Hukkataival. We are in 3 different parts of the world. I am in California, Alejandra is in Buenos Aires, and Helinä is in Finland. This program, it is part of the festival Cine Plus Perfo, International Festival of Performance Art and Audiovisual Formats that takes place between November 2nd and the 12th. This broadcast is part of the daily events that are published during those days. And we have 2 series of conversations with artists. One is the contingent conversations, which this one is part of that series. And the other one, analytical conversations, in which we invite artists that have presented their work within the previous edition. This is our 4th edition. My name is Graciela Ovejero Postigo, and now Alejandra is showing us a little bit of our site. The festival, of course, initiates with a call, with an open international call that always has like some propositional ideas to incite artists to create work or to think about work they already have created that could dialogue with some of the ideas. And then there is a jury of performance artists, international jury, that makes the selection to produce what we call the annual exhibition. So the festival has its own sort of, identity. It's a small festival, it's non-competitive, but the jury produces the selection, which is this annual exhibition, and the works are shown within our site. This year, the exhibition will be open for 3 months, starting November 2nd and coming down February 2nd. The members of the jury, they also produce special mentions of different works. Those are the juries, the member juries of this year, and you can review their short bios in our site already. At this time, we are in the process of conversations with the jury. I participate closely in those conversations, but I have no vote, as the creator of this festival, director of the festival. They give shape to the exhibition. And of course, the conversations are amazing, super enjoyable. And every year we find something new. And that is the beauty of this sort of open calls, and a festival that started during the times of pandemia, in which all, we performance artists sort of came to encounter each other through online, platforms like this one. So our special guest today is, as I mentioned, Helinä Hukkataival, and as part of the series ARTISTinFOCUS and the contingent conversations. And we have entitled this conversation, this moment, a yearning that spills or bursts, with a phrase that comes up often when her work is described in her own words, looking for the universal in personal experiences. So I will read a bit of her bio, but first we are going to have the image of a work called Identity from 2013. Wonderful. I will read a little bit about Helinä, something that is a small semblance in the publication about her book, a book about her work called Space Between Ritual and Carnival. It's a book that was published in 2015, 114 pages, 116 color illustrations, and some text by her, Mervi Appel. And Helinä is a Finnish visual artist that works with video and photography, live performance art, and performance installations. Her work establishes new connections between general meaning and singular experiences. She aims to reach a universal level of understanding within each personal experience by staging small incidents, subtle relative shades that influence us so subtly that we hardly notice them. In her performances, Hukkataival emphasizes the meaning and modes of communication that characterize the visual as both uniquely ocular and yet multi-sensuous. Her quiet and slow performances arrest the usual hasty rhythm of everyday life and thus fundamentally transform our present. one finds traces of Zen philosophy and minimalist aesthetics in her methods. She often takes everyday items and transforms their original functions, proposing a link between the aesthetic experience and everyday life. Hukkataival moves objects, elements, and phenomena between varying times and cultures, creating new situations and unlikely contexts. Through her performances, she investigates the relationship between the artist and the audience, the physical and social spaces we share. Helinä, I love that video, and I think I have seen, of course, you also work in installations, like those masks, created with the A4 papers that installed on a wall. So yeah, go ahead.
Oh yes, I have. This is something that I have performed in quite a few places, and I usually it's a durational 1 hour, 2 hour, even more, and I get very many of those masks, and then I install them on the wall behind me or on the floor or well.
Yeah, so one can imagine the multiplication of the gestures, and in just watching the movement of your hand and the knowledge that the hands have, your hands there, in the self-exploration of the face as if it is another. And it does become another. The mask that is produced, it's always a surprise. They are all different. And one can actually see a face there. Interestingly enough, in this, like when the sort of mask appears, in the first moment, I think I see a man, and it's so fascinating. This, we humans, that's the basic structure we all have, our skulls. It's really very beautiful, very deep, and very simple. Yeah, so that was a fantastic way of presenting your work, introducing you as an artist. And you have prepared like some presentation, and we are going to see a lot more of your work. Let me just pose one question that maybe you can anecdotally, like now, say something about it, and then we can maybe go on with the presentation. And the question is just very simple. It's like, I mean, when and how did you encounter performance art? We know that you began exhibiting work in 1969. You have a long career while you were teaching art in grammar school and high schools. And from the 90s, you focus on performance art, of course, expanding later on, including photography, video, and the installations. And you are a very, very well, traveled and recognized performance artist. You have received this very important state award for visual arts in your country in 2004 as well. When and how did you encounter performance art?
It was quite long ago. Actually, it was in the 80s, in the beginning, in the middle of 80s. I had been, so since I was trained as an art teacher, but at that time, in the beginning of 60s, when I was studying, the education was more like how to do art. Nowadays, it's very, very different, and art is not really such a big deal now in school, but even if we have it, luckily. But then I had been teaching for many years, and I also had been painting, but I had a very big crisis both in my life and in my art. I had no idea what I should be painting. I didn't want to paint anything. No landscape, no photos, people, not anything. And then also in my personal life, there was a crisis. And in my professional life also, because I thought that I have been teaching such a long time. And then I thought that maybe I could do something else instead of teaching. And I took a Gestalt art therapy course. It was actually Gestalt art therapy in education. It was during three years, not like every day, but during weekends. And somehow that solved many problems for me, or I found solutions to many problems. And I realized that, okay, teaching is something that I can do, so that's fine. I'm fine with that. And then I found out that I don't have to worry what to do, what to paint, what to draw, because everything comes from my inside. Like it's an intuition. And then also my personal life gets sort of settled also. So it was a big deal. And there, during this Gestalt art therapy education, I did my first performance because, of course, I had seen some happenings and some artists like in Finland. So I had some idea about that kind of live art. But there I did my first one, which was very different from what I now do. It was very expressive and full of this and that and sound and expression. And that's how I started. It was 1887, I think. I did then my first in public, and then 1990 I had a real urge that I have to do something different, and then I started my public career.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Okay, so if this would be a perfect moment for you to start sharing what you have prepared, and we just with you following, and Alejandra will be taking your suggestions of how to move around with the images. And
so this is when I said that I had the real urge to do something different, and this is how I started then very publicly. This was in 1990, and I had heard that there was in the middle of Helsinki, in the center of Helsinki, there was this little gallery that it was called a kiosk gallery because it was like a window gallery. You only could see it from outside. And well, I had heard that some dance students had rented the gallery and been doing some dance performance, or I don't know, I never saw that, but I heard it. And then I started to think that, maybe I could also rent it for a week. And I was thinking, and then finally I decided if I don't try it now, then I will regret the rest of my life that I didn't try. So I rented it for 1 week, and every day from 2 hours, from 4 to 6, I was performing in the window.
Fantastic.
I had a theme there, and I had for every day I had a book that was some kind of self-help book. Even
that
time there was a lot of self-help books.
Yes.
Now there are even many times more.
Yeah.
But then I would do something connected to this book, like I remember, like how to get friends and power, and this very, 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 very famous book. And then one was the book of beauty that I had with my sister going through very, very eager, still in school, and keep somehow take care of your feelings or something like that. And then I would write notes, wise sentences, and put them on the window. And
put them on the window. You would write on the glass or on paper?
No, I had these pieces of paper, and I would use them in the corner there. You see?
Yeah, I see. Yes. Wow, what a fantastic project.
And you see, here there are 2 people who react to me, but I found out that Finnish people are really shy. They they didn't want to stop to look something strange happening in the window. Only if there was somebody else, like my friend happened to be there standing, then they would stop for a while. But it was Friday night, and people were coming from a pub, so they were a little bit more encouraged.
They were a little bit more encouraged. Yeah. This is I love the project. I mean, it says so many things. You know, I mean, it's a process project, right? With you are starting to, like, as you said, reinventing yourself as an artist, and of course that is most of what we are. So you know, so as a person, as a human, as well as you mentioned in the personal life, and yeah, the series of self-help books that carry a lot of preconceptions, right, of, you know, how to make your life better. Sometimes there are things that could be very practical and very interesting. I remember my father was fond of books like that as well. He was a musician, a classical musician, you know, but he had a lot of questions, and yeah, he kind of made himself in life, didn't have, you know, too much supports. And I think that, yeah, those books could have been very popular also for women, you know, as, yeah, especially in those times, you know, like, you know, sort of pre all that, you know, theorization of feminism, and when our own voices started, you know, dealing about our lives and expanding the whole thing.
Yeah.
You have actually mentioned also that
the next photo, because it's connected to this. Okay,
excellent.
Please.
Wonderful.
So this is from the Book of Beauty. How to
paint. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Yeah. It's revealing so much of the discursive mesh of which is instructive, right, towards women. It's like it's not open. You have to be beautiful, you know, as if it is part of part of what you're supposed to be, you know, as woman. For the male gaze, of course, you know, usually, and so it's finding our own gaze, our own, you know, right, you know, how do we, our own direct encounter with the world without those things is the challenges still very much.
Yes, they are.
Yes, that is wonderful. I really, okay. So yeah, if you like, we can go on.
Yes. So this is, I don't know if you realize what material is this. This is a mini abstract white on white painting.
Yeah.
And it is made of chewing gum.
Chewing gum.
Yeah.
All right.
This was part of the performance that I also performed. Well, the next, please. Yeah, this is when my performances started to be more public. I was invited to this Manta Art Week, which is still going on and is very famous in Finland every summer. And here I had been thinking earlier, so is there something very cheap material that I could use for performance, like making small artworks? And then I made some experiments with chewing gum, and this is what came out, because chewing gum is really if you put your hands over a table or over a chair when there is somebody's gum hidden there, it's very disgusting, I think. And then I thought that, okay, chewed gum is very disgusting. So if I use it, it must look like very, very precise and hygienic. And that's why I have all this outfit and equipment like a nurse would have. And then I was giving people a piece of gum to chew. And then when they have chewed it, I put it into a disinfection. cup there, and then I sort of used test tubes and other things and pincets and whatever, so that. And then I had these business cards, and I put it on there, and with a very small hairdryer, I warmed it up and sprayed it and put a piece of plastic, well, cover over it. And then the person who chewed it got this little abstract piece of art.
That is wonderful. That's amazing. Is it in like maybe this? I was just making a connection here. The attire, you know, the head cover, and then in many of your performances, you do have particular attires that are not the current sort of modern clothes, and in some cases you reference the figure of nuns in some of the works. Mm-hmm. You know, and but also like the attires are some reference of the past, like medieval sort of attires, which are very fascinating because it already shifts, it produces a shift, is visual, and creates a very powerful presence. So I wonder, you know, if this was one of these things in which you thought, you know, of course, everything that has to do with, you know, relationship to chewing gums and, you know, when it becomes residual and this disgusting aspect, you know, of going inside the body and then coming out and then being hidden in furnitures and stuff like that. And then you using it as a material, bring art material and business cards given to people going through the process of, you know, making it clean again. You know, that's really fascinating. And the nurse, you know, the figure of the woman that is processing a material that becomes socialized, you know, is a frequent role of women, right? And you focus a lot also on that as well, you know, as part of it. Yeah, I just thought of that. It's fascinating to see this early work.
Yeah, well, from the beginning, I think I have been only focusing on things that I really have seen or known or are familiar with from my childhood. Like I collected from flea markets these old black dresses, and they were, I think they are beautiful.
They are absolutely beautiful. I love it.
And they are familiar to me somehow from what my old people, when I was young, were using. And especially the scarves. We didn't have nuns in Finland, actually, very little, because Finnish is an evangelic Lutheran country. So, but of course, yeah, I have seen also photos, yes.
Yeah.
But so I have been focusing on what, since I'm a woman, I have been focusing on what I know and what I feel.
Wonderful.
Okay. So maybe we can go further. Okay. Well, this was I was very lucky that for years I had this connection to this non-commercial gallery in Finland, and they first invited me to make a performance, and afterwards we worked together, and I had several solo exhibitions in the gallery, and this was I think my first solo exhibition. When I was studying. After I had retired, I was studying the BA studies in Tampere. We had a very, very good art school here then, and they had no age limits. So I was very happy there. Yeah, and this like some of my performances are based on the memories or feelings, very sort of, I can't say straightforward but to me very straightforward way. And so is this, it is Forgive Me, And I'm sitting there, as you see in the gallery, I'm writing these notes, and the camera is recording what I write, and I write there, and please forgive me that I left you alone. And then I overwrite the first word, which is please, forgive me. It is I forgive me. That. So it was something that it based on when my son was little. And of course, like I think not maybe most, but very many mothers feel guilty that they have to leave their baby, even if there is they know that there is no harm. It's completely safe to leave the child. But when the child you left, and the child was crying in the window, so it was such a heavy feeling that yes. I was many years sort of carrying it inside me. And then I realized that it also has happened in other relations with adult people. When somebody has needed my presence or something like that, and they have been there, but then I had left before the situation was sort of settled. So that was the guilt that I was feeling, and that brought this. And when this was sort of during the opening time of the gallery, I was sitting there writing for 15 minutes, and then my alarm stopped it, and I went into the corner to be ashamed of and that is the punishment that my mother sometimes used when we were children with my sister. So I was standing 15 minutes in the corner and coming back to write. Then in the next room, there were two videos which I had since I was studying. I also was studying how to use video. That was very new to me, and editing and things. And I had these two videos which were part of the former sort of video-mediated performance that I had been doing. That they were in the room. One was this one where I was slapping my cheek, and this white little balloon came out of my mouth. And then the other one was, and now if we can look apart, sort of piece short.
These videos were part of the solo exhibition, your first solo exhibition, in the subsequent rooms.
And when the balloon was coming out of my mouth, that it didn't come out like it was a part of a performance, a durational, no, not the duration, quite long performance. The audience was in upstairs, and I was doing that in downstairs, and there was just a cable connecting us.
Perfect.
It didn't come out as a video work. It didn't work out. But the last part, this thrashing.
Yeah. Now we see.
So in Finnish, the name of this video is black painting, musta maalausta, but it doesn't really have the double meaning that it has in Finnish. So somebody told me that thrashing is the word that I can use for this.
What would be the difference? I really like black painting.
Yeah, but it means that black painting in Finnish means also to talk bad things about other people.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you know what? In a way, that it's implicit in the image as metaphor, poetically. Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, well, I don't know which.
Of course, in Finnish, it has that double thing, which is like, we are used to in the lexicon and the art history, white on white, black painting, that sort of thing, and at the same time meaning, talking bad. Or whatever.
It could be black painting. You think? Okay.
Yeah, I like it. With just a little bit about because with a little comment on its double significance in the Finnish language also adds the cultural context, and wonderful.
Yeah, it is black painting.
Yeah, black painting. Okay, perfect.
So this is also about feelings and memories. This was 1999. I can't remember the years, but a friend of mine had a exhibition painting exhibition. Behind the wall, it was at that time a small gallery, and he was exhibiting there, and he invited me to exhibit with him. I can't remember what I showed there, but then he asked me that maybe you could also do a performance, and then I thought, okay. And since I started in the window performing, so being on the street or outside, not in a gallery, it has been not a big deal for me. And I said, I was standing here facing the wall for 15 minutes. And then I said that I will stand there, and then after the 15 minutes, I start doing something. And maybe you show the next one now. Okay. And then I was all the time standing in this bucket. Then I started tramping my feet in the water, and then the foam went all over. Yeah. And this also was based on a childhood memory. And I had 2 brushes tied into my feet as my shoes. And I don't have any. I think this was I'm not sure if there is one more picture, but anyway, I have this memory that when I was on the first year in school, I had gotten white chalk from somewhere, from school or from where, I don't know. And I wrote with the chalk on our house wall. It's a department store, and it was beside the main entrance, and I wrote there with as big letters as I could. I wrote the word good, hyvä. And well, then I went home, and then at some point my mother came to me, "Oh, Helinä, you have been doing something that you shouldn't do." And then of course I knew that I should not have written on the wall anything. And then she gave me a bucket and a brush and said, "Go and wash it." And I don't think I ever in my life was as ashamed as that time. I was with brushing the wall. Of course, it was not a big deal, but it was the shame. And I tried to look that people are not coming, and then when they passed me, I was just standing. I have nothing to do with all this. So this is, and in this performance, I have the chalk underneath the white cloth, and then I write on the pavement the word hyvä with both my hands, but then I didn't wash it out.
Right. Yeah. Wow. Wonderful. Wonderful.
Let's go forward but this somehow, this not doing nice things like making yourself dirty or something like that was also part of my concept during those days. In 2004, I was invited to Toronto to 7-Eleven Festival, and then here you can see some photos of this. I call this towards the pure.
Towards the pure.
Yeah. And I did this later 2 times, actually. One was then the negative. But it ended, I come in and I have this sheet and I tear it, and then I give it these big pieces. People wrap them for me, and then the 2 Tanjamars, and they sort of bind my heart as I had instructed them, and then it ends with this. This is part of that.
Yeah,
there is something missing because I didn't find all the photos, but anyway, I have this
amazing image.
I had this bucket there, and then I put this swim cap on my head, and underneath the newspaper cover there was some talcum powder. So I put it over my face so that that black color would not fix so much on my face. And when I lifted it and I had broken the paper, somebody said to me, "Oh, I was waiting that the talcum powder comes out." But no, it was not the talcum powder, it was black paint that was inside. And so it came all over me. But front picture, I couldn't find it anywhere because it came,
Oh,
most of it came on my
in
face.
the front.
I really don't know where it was.
It's amazing image. I
Yeah,
love.
thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. So how long was this piece? It seemed like it involved different moments.
Yeah, I think this was a little bit longer. I think this must be
An hour or
maybe not
so.
50. No.
Oh,
20 minutes maybe.
20. Okay.
Happens, yeah. People were quick in rolling those
Oh, okay.
bandages and yeah.
Towards the pew.
But then, yeah, the title was borrowed by a Finnish artist who had a very, very different performance, or
Oh,
it's
really?
not a performance, but a moving sculpture with
Oh,
tiles, with red tiles.
oh,
But I like the name, and it was sort of since black and white, and that's what I thought. That towards the pure.
yes,
Then
exactly.
I'm just messing myself up. I'm not succeeding so well. So that was my idea.
Wonderful.
Okay, let's go forward.
Yes,
I
yes.
think I have too much material.
No, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
But this is about the same theme, like black and white, and not
Yeah.
being very clean and proper. And I was walking from this Youngma gallery where I had an exhibition also. I had white paint, and I asked people to just write something or draw. And these were, of course, here around me,
Yeah.
no performance artists. But there was also young, ordinary people just who wanted to be. But
Right. And the white paint, you have it in the particular buckets that I remember those, or at least in Argentina, they were used for milk directly.
yeah, that bucket.
Yes,
It was a milk bucket. Yeah, when I was child, we got the milk. I went to the milk shop in
directly.
the corner, and
Yeah, get the milk from in those
a
buckets.
little cream part.
Yes. Whoever got the milk could tip a little bit of the cream part. Yeah.
So
Okay.
the next one, please.
Sign and icon.
Yeah, and here that was. I'm unsure about these. This. No, okay. I don't talk because I don't remember.
This is 2012.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the first part was that on the street, and the next part was in the theater where Irma Optimist had organized with Lauri, I think, or his son and husband. They organized this Baba festival, and I was also invited there. And I had with me here my friend Soile, who has also been in my. We have been performing together as 3 women. But she's also sings, and she was helping me, and she was also making the sound behind there.
She was singing or
No, not really singing.
humming.
No, not even humming, making sound.
Oh, making sound.
Yeah, high and low, but nothing like, she was not imitating anything or singing. And I had this black paint again here, and this newspaper cover messed the whole theater up. And then I
in
was,
the hands you have something.
I have the bucket.
Oh yeah, I see now.
And then I was with my hands I was painting a square, and with my feet I was painting the same square there.
Yes.
And that was sort of the black square.
Yeah.
And in this special performance,
homage to Malevich.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
This special performance, I didn't check the paint. It was much too thick, and it was very slippery. So that I thought, this performance be? Shall I be falling down on here or something? But okay. But that is again the not messing up yourself, that thing. And let's see the next one.
This one.
So this is, I don't remember they are not in time order, I think.
Yeah, this is 2010.
Yeah, it was
part of a video installation.
Yeah, it was also in the same gallery. It was like a solo exhibition.
Yeah.
And I had this mirror wall in front of me.
Right.
Because I realized that Otherwise, it needs the mirrors. Otherwise, it doesn't work. And I was sitting there 4 hours a day, not moving, and I had such a good chair to sit, so that I really could manage.
Yeah.
And I had my eyes covered because I have noticed that people get shy if they think that you are looking at them, and then you are criticizing what they do, and
they were invited to write on your dress.
On my dress, and it took during the 3 weeks I was there. It didn't get all written, but quite a lot, and it took a long time. Yeah, it took a long time before somebody was courage enough to come up on my blouse also. And then later, when I checked the guest book, there had been I think it was a former performance student of mine when I was giving a performance workshop.
Right. That is very interesting comment, because in this the relationship between the experience of creating a performance and becoming a performance artist, and in contact with the community of performance artists, that we sort of give permission and feel invited in opening up the possibilities of actions once, because of that relationship we have with the practice. When we see, and what you just told us, it sort of confirms that thing, that we sort of collectively, in a way, sort of expand the possibilities of the images in action. That action can expand space and the combination of everything that is there in the mind, beyond the ordinary or the prescribed in terms of behavior. The image is really amazing. It's amazing, puzzling, iconic. The mirror and the blindfolding yourself. I think it really creates it's a question. It's an image that is inquiring as itself, And what did people write there? What were there? Do you remember any of the writings?
No, it's a long time. I still have. I have not.
Yeah, of course.
Somebody says just hello, and somebody. Very many were drawings, something like you can see there.
Yes.
And then the young performance artist who has the courage to have put something on my sleeve. He just splashed it, sort of like, you can see up there.
Yes.
And after that, people sort of had more courage to come up also.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, we learn from each other. We give permission to each other to go further. Yeah, that's how we learn in life, and of course in the art, this live art form. It happens so too.
Yeah, before that I had been doing the same thing. That I was like in Germany, it was a German Vogel. It was art in private gardens.
Right.
Previous year or 2 years before this, and I was there. I had a white padded dress, and I was there walking around and having this, what do you call this, black, big.
A veil, or like a big...
No, like something that you write on.
Oh, blackboard, like a blackboard.
Yeah.
Yeah, like those that are used in the schools, blackboards to write with chalk, white chalk.
Yeah, but that was like this permanent.
Oh, okay.
Anything you can write, this permanent, writing. And people, they were hanging from my wrists. Then I had my mouth closed with black tape, so I couldn't explain people what to do.
Yeah.
And they understood very well.
They understood.
They take the
That's wonderful.
The writer or
Wow.
whatever, and then they would write their name because I was the walking guest book of the exhibition.
Right, you were the walking guest book, yeah. So they signed their names.
Yeah,
it's like this, primal action about self-inscribing, right?
Exactly, yes.
In social situations. Wonderful. And this is again outside.
Yeah, that was in 2000.
In China.
That was in China. There was this upon live art festival.
Yes, upon.
And this was a university of finance and economics, and I was doing this stone library, pages from a stone library, and I have been working with this in Germany and in Finland. And I have different stones, as you can see on the table.
Yeah.
And the person who wants to take part chooses a stone, or they could bring their own stone also. But then I make this frottage drawing with very soft graffiti. And then
over the stone.
Maybe you take the next one, because you can
right.
I couldn't find any photos of these drawings, but they made this kind of poster, which was very nice of the two drawings I had.
Very nice.
Yeah. We were looking together these with drawings, and so what would they see in them? And we talked.
Right. It's so beautiful. I love stones. I have stones. I collect stones very well, and this is such a beautiful piece, and I think this sort of intuition that opens, and this desire to read things in nature, and stones are so particularly so diverse, and then especially, well, of course, I think in general, every culture, probably we have something special with stones. But just thinking about, Chinese with the language that is so, iconic and graphic, like very much related to like synthesis of shapes from nature, and and the trace of the importance of the trace, and in all the Eastern languages. So how long were you there? I imagine people being so interested.
Yeah, well, yes, they would have been there because they're young people, but I think I was there for 2 hours, but then we had to leave.
Oh, okay.
Because my train to Chongqing from Chengdu was leaving, so we had a taxi. So that was too bad. But when I was working with this performance in Germany, there was the curator had. There was in the newspaper. No, it was I don't remember where it was, in the newspaper or in the morning, some kind of radio. There was about this, and I was talking a little bit about this. And then when I was doing it it was near Darmstadt, in a very beautiful, well, it was not really a garden, but some kind of part of it was the old hunting castle of this ruler who had been there in Darmstadt later. And I was sitting there, and after the interview, or no, it was in the paper, people were queuing with their own stones. So nice. So that
lovely.
Yeah.
Wow, beautiful. Oh, this is so nice. I love it. The girls again, cleaning ladies.
Yes, I have been mostly performing alone, but then at some point, and I think this was the first time I invited 2 of my friends. They are both sing, and we were in Venice in this infraction festival, and we had a plan, but then when it was a different plan what to do, but then we were there, we decided, oh no, what we do, we are going to wash the bushes. the leads, and one of us, the Sinikka who's sitting there, she's the professional singer and voice teacher, and she was singing Finnish folk songs, and that's
wonderful.
the little video.
Okay, wonderful. Let's watch the video. That was 2011, right?
Yeah,
Venice.
and since then we two have performed together a few times.
Mm-hmm.
Also in Finland.
Perfect.
You hear?
Yes.
Yeah.
How dare you be so calm about this? Why aren't you?
Can I say here something?
Yes, of course. Go ahead. Yeah.
So we were very convincing because it was during the opening of the Biennale, Art Biennale, when this performance event was happening. And somebody came to ask if the Venice city hired us to clean the buses. So I said that, yeah, they are very, very dusty. They really need it, but no, nobody
need the cleaning. Oh, wonderful. This is just amazing. I love it.
Yeah, but we can I think you can stop the video because nothing special happens there. Because I'm a little bit worried about the time.
Yeah.
So now this is the sort of start for the long series of performances. I have been working with this old clothes and more or less cleaning and and this was in Wisconsin, forest art path, and the theme was native invasive, and I had there, you can see there on the picture on the right behind me there is a green tent, and I had several tents, old discarded tents around, and this kind of place where we could sit around the fire. And then I had this little table where I was demonstrating how in Finland we clean these rag carpets that are made of this.
Shredded clothes, old clothes.
Yeah, old clothes.
Right.
And they made this little table for me, and I brought the brush and the soap and things from Finland, and that was a spectacle, I would say.
So you collected old clothes there, and invited the participatory the people to shred the old clothes and produce the carpets. Yeah, those carpets, they have become a commodity through IKEA.
Yes,
like a Nordic,
But in Finland, they are very, very popular still. And when I was young, we were, so in the beginning of 50s and end of 40s, we were cutting our old clothes for this.
To make the carpets, And of course, it makes a lot of sense because shoes are kept by the door and you never go inside the house spaces with shoes. So the carpets become very important.
Yeah, of course, we nowadays have very many other kinds of carpets.
Yeah, of course.
Need chemical.
Right. But that was fantastic. I mean, like a perfect way to recycle, and so many things were created in the homes back then. I mean, like in the, and now people have forgotten. Everything comes in packages.
Yeah, and my idea for this theme was that because in the 20s and 30s, very many Finns also moved from Finland after work to America and to Wisconsin also.
Wisconsin,
and I thought that so if I would need to immigrate.
Right.
So
So it
what-
had that theme in it
Yeah,
also,
yeah.
of course.
Yeah, I thought that, so what would I bring with me? I couldn't bring furniture or big things, so I would bring the skills I have, like
Exactly.
cutting this weft
Yeah.
and well, whatever, and also songs. And Sinikka, the one who was singing in Venice with the bucket in her head,
Yeah.
she made a CD for me of Finnish folk songs, and from one of the tents we could listen her singing, and it was so also natural, and that the people asked me that, is there somebody singing in the tent?
Wonderful. That completes perfectly well the whole situation, having the folk songs there. Beautiful. This was part of a residency that you did in Wisconsin.
No, it was in a way it was well, 2 weeks.
Okay. Yeah.
Because
Sure.
there were several artists from some from Europe and from the United States and from South America also, and
Right.
they all were building their artworks in the forest along this path that people were jogging and walking for recreation, and they had big installations outside. So this is was my installation. Actually, the girls in the photo are helpers of other artists, and when they did this big installation, some had that, it's such a hard work, I come here, rest a little and cut. But this was also nice because some of the girls didn't know how to crochet, so these 2 girls there learned how to crochet.
Wonderful.
Okay, let's go forward.
Yes.
Yeah, and then when I came to Finland, I had with 2 other Finnish artists, we had an exhibition in Turku, in this art museum, and I had this same theme. I was collecting I was asking, or actually the curator asked in some secondhand shops that they would donate white clothes that they wouldn't anymore sell, that were not in good way to sell. So I had this installation with the white clothes, and then there was, since the exhibition was there for a long time, it was a museum exhibition, I couldn't go there every day to do the work. So voluntary art students from the local art school the girls came to sit there for 1 or 2 hours every day. And so that's how they got this thing that is on my lap there in this.
Got bigger with everybody's contribution.
It was a big surprise for me what came out, because I thought a white big carpet, but I couldn't imagine anything as beautiful as this was.
Yes, that was a very, very nice suggestion by the curator. Reflecting on your work and this minimal black and white spaces and substances that you display and work with. And
well, actually, I suggested this to the curator, and she just
got great. She got the materials. Perfect. Yeah, that is really having the clothes displayed on the wall. Also resembles this, the time and labor ahead, of the process of something. And the transformation in the space, how the clothes then from the wall to become a carpet.
Take the next one, please, because there's one more photo. This was in town. You can see how it is.
Yeah, growing.
But it came much bigger.
Yes.
And then I also tried it as red later in one.
Oh, okay. Red also.
It was
Wonderful.
very stunning red when the red clothes were there. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. I think I've seen pictures of that.
Yeah, the red, yes.
The red. And the following picture is you are in Italy again.
Yeah,
doing this.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
lucky to be in this Scandinavian residency in Rome, Circolo Scandinavo, and a few times, and with the Mervi Appel, who was curating the previous exhibition. And this, when I had a project when I was applying for the residency, and then I thought about this. So what is this? What I want to do? And it was this women's things, this cutting and crocheting and things. And then I invented the name. First, you have to be a Martha, because in Rome we were studying a little bit about this for this residency, because Mervi Appel was there also. She was in Villa Lante in the Finnish residency, and so we were researching about Saint Birgitta, who is one of the European saints. Well, what do you call it? Special saints for Europe, and she lived her when her husband had died, and her children were her daughters were all married. She went to Rome, and she also established a nunnery. What do you call the anyway, and there is a church, and the place where the nuns lived, it is now a hotel, but it's still run with by the nuns, the Birgitta nuns. And we were. I was also researching what did this Saint Birgitta do when she was living, and how did she run her nunnery. And one of her teachings to the nuns was that you in order to become Maria, you have to be Martha. And nowadays, young people don't know these Bible stories anymore. But then like for me, it was completely clear that first you have to do the everyday things, clean, wash, make food, and then you can start studying, start listening to teachings, even if Jesus in the Bible says that Martha has taken the good part, that you, Martha, you just take care of your part since you have chosen that. So,
and that is the title of this series that focus on the chore of
for what all
cleaning and creating the carpet.
Everyday tasks, yes. Okay, and here is, we can look at a little bit of the video. I was doing this in Piazza Navona during several days, and next year I realized that I want to have a video documentation. Mervi had taken some documentations, but then I realized that I need a documentation, and then a friend of mine was with me in Rome, and she did the documentation. She sort of tried to hide as a tourist so that it wouldn't look like there is something happening.
Pointing at something. Yes,
she really succeeded very well.
She did very well. I was observing the people around you, and they were quite natural in their own space, and you're curious about what you were doing, but you are doing your own thing, whatever, and they do their own thing. Exactly. They don't touch the camera that is recording them. So she did good job,
Did, yes, and it was very nice to edit this video, because it was so nice to look how the reaction, and how the people were acting. So very many really didn't notice at all that I was any old Roman lady sitting there.
Yes, and some were looking at you like that man there with the yellow jacket. like really interested. Maybe he's remembering, you know, his mother or whatever. And look at this other character that is there.
Yeah, well, he saw the camera.
Yeah, he noticed
Yeah.
someone very aware of everything happening in the street, but at the same time he's doing his thing. No, it's like a yeah, it's like this paint. I thought this lady noticed the camera
Yes, she
also,
noticed,
and
yeah,
she just paused
yeah,
just
exactly.
in case. Right. And the kids having gelato. Yeah, it's so, you know, talking among themselves, being themselves, listening to their music, moving their bodies. No, it's fantastic. This, you know, I also love the documentation of like public spaces and how people move around. And of course, in Italy, the public spaces, the piazzas are very active, very, very active. Look at that.
Yeah.
You know, like that. And the couple, then the girl comes, and then at some moment,
Yeah.
she also kind of lays there. It's amazing. No, it's this. It's like a collection of human presence as a behavior. They become part of the piece. And so interesting. And then with time, you know, it's like things may change.
Yeah.
Can you imagine through pandemia? This was, remember those empty images that were circulating about Venice and, you know, public spaces in Italy, because Italy was hard hit with the virus in the beginning, and it was the cities were deserted.
Okay.
That is great. Look at that.
And Piazza Navona is really I was doing a performance art there in the midst of all this other art.
The other art, yeah, art for tourism.
Yeah.
And yeah.
And these are in Rome. The same at first. You have to be Martha.
Yeah. Yes.
The next is in Finland. I wanted also to go on with the same theme. First, you have to be Martha, but in Finnish Martha is a little bit different.
Yes, doing different things. No, they're fantastic images like that.
And here's a little bit. Let's look a little bit of this Forest Martha. Because I wanted to have some counterpart for this Piazza Navona. Yeah, the very quiet,
the quietness of Finland and nature.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, yes. This is fantastic. Yes.
This was, I think, end of November or beginning of December. There was no snow.
No snow. Yeah.
No snow. And I was sitting there, and then I realized that, this is not enough. That I would like to have snow also. And the second day of Christmas, it snowed. And my son was with his family, was in Tampere, and then I asked, will you come and shoot for me? We go to the same place. Just please put the video a little bit further. And
you are sitting on a rock that is then covered.
Covered with moss.
Yes, moss.
Very soft. And then the snow came, and I'm sitting exactly in the same place.
The same place.
So that
you have a diptych there, a video diptych of those two images. Beautiful.
And then I just cut it here, and please go into the end so we see how I can't just come out from the forest.
Wow, look at that. And you come back. So it's one video that has first while it's green right before the snow, and then with all the landscape white as closing the video.
I was really lucky to get that.
That is amazing. Yeah, to capture all that. Wow, so amazing. Beautiful. Yeah. Coming back.
A year in the forest.
Perfect. Very good. Well, what do we have next?
This is just an image where when I had the two, this was in the art museum in Finland. in South
Both
Karelia.
pieces, then the both contrasting spaces. Yeah.
I have exhibited these together. They are not good side by side, but this way they look nice. Okay, let's
Very
go.
nice. Very nice. Yeah.
And then there also in this exhibition, I had this one performance in the opening, and I was performing in front of this Piazza Navona video.
Yes.
And I should have taken the video off because it was the audience or one person from the audience who really understood the thing, that it was difficult to choose what to look.
Oh, really?
To look me or the image.
Or the video. That's all right. I think it's a very interesting juxtaposition. Very interesting. Also because it's a multiplicity of times, right? In a spaces within one singular action. Yeah.
But it would have been better for people to look at one thing, easier. But
you were complicating their life a little bit. That is good too.
Okay. And the next, this is was the end of that performance.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's amazing. Wow, that is so beautiful.
So let's go further. We can. And this is from
with Inari, right?
Yes, with Inari. Yes, we have been working together now also in Finland, but earlier only somewhere else in China or Italy or somewhere, which was very strange actually. And this was not last summer, the summer before when. And this is the same thing. Women doing their laundry and
doing laundry, hanging laundry and being blindfolded.
And not really cleaning, but
not really cleaning. Yeah, it is great.
Yeah, and this was invited to this art promotion center. Yeah, art promotion center of Finland. It's and they had this seminar where they had the artist at work was their theme, so they invited me to come to there. And then of course I had some work to do.
Yeah.
I was cutting this and then I made a ball of the and it took 3 hours.
Wow. Sure.
And people of course went back and forth and there was lectures and things, but I was and then I went on with the same theme also a year ago in Germany, where I had this, it was like, I don't know, what do you call this thing? When it was people could really take part in
participatory.
Yeah, participatory.
Yeah, participatory action situations.
It was very, very nice. It was really nice. And here is another theme. Oh no,
in Mexico, Norgache.
Yeah. When I immediately when I saw the landscape when we went there, I realized, I must collect the twigs. And it was hot and they were very thorny also. So it was quite a challenge to get up the hill. Yeah. But that was something that, not really like that, but in the next photo I went on with the same theme.
With the same action, collecting twigs.
And
it's a beautiful action. Yeah, of course it relates to the memory of women work.
Yeah. And also what we did, we had and we still have the summer house, and we collected from work forest and in the summer we were, the stove was heated with us, and so I did, but we never carried it like this.
This is this piece is called The Shell, is 2018. I watched this video. We can, when we publish it, we can share that link, because in that piece they can see the whole performance that was captured by Diana Soria Hernandez, right? The Mexican artist who lives in Finland, and That was part of a project she organized, Exquisite Corpse, something like exploring ways to address violence through art without reproducing it. I watched the whole video and I realized, well, it's very beautiful. It's very much like a staging space, but it's beautiful to see the whole development of the action and your interactions with the objects that you picked for this piece. And I found the piece to be very mythological.
Huh.
I don't know if you want to talk about that because of the egg and, you know, the mythology.
Yes, the egg is, yes, it's in mythologies all over the world. Yes, the world comes from a egg, and yeah, it was. I didn't think of that because my way of working is very, very intuitive, and I had the egg. I think I had at first, and then when I came to see, because this was in a real theater, Espoo theater, it was a small theater. And then I realized that, oh, what can I do on this stage? And can I get this? Can I get that? And then can I get the smoke? Oh, I could get the smoke also. So I was the whole piece sort of developed. It was very site specific also.
Yeah.
And
exactly. Well said. Yeah.
And like very often after the performance, I said, oh, I had, you can see this, it like this. I didn't think of this at all, but okay, yes, it's nice.
It's there. Yeah, it's in the part of the collective unconscious, and it does have some specificity for the Finnish mythology as well. Oh, I love this series with the Barbies. I think it was in Mexico when we met in Mexico.
Yeah.
And when we were in Guanajuato, we had a situation of like a big space, really nice space to do a collective performance. And that's when I saw you working with the Barbie doll. And it was an amazing image. And so when I think about your work, that's what I proposed, you know, like as a subtitle, a yearning that spills or bursts. And those works with the Barbie doll are like the bursting. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean that the title is very nice. At first I thought, oh, so what do you mean? But then I realized, oh yeah, it's a very nice title. Yeah. And in Mexico, that was the first time I used Barbie doll.
Oh, wow!
I really I had used it in before. Yes.
The flashing.
Yeah, exactly.
We can show that at the end to close because that video is super.
And then I did a series of photo performances with Barbie doll. Yeah, and this is one of them. Yeah, I had a small exhibition in Helsinki with those.
The writers.
Yeah, I was taking the photos all in Italy in this Scandinavian residency.
Yeah. Okay.
It was an amazing cupboard there in the living room. They did old cup.
Yes. Wow.
Yeah, this is
so okay. we have we can watch this video piece and as a closing for the.
There is one thing I would like to show you, but
before this one, okay. Yeah.
So it is this.
Do I see myself?
Yes, exactly. Yes.
When I look at you, do I see myself? Yeah. Oh, the superposition. Yeah. That's very interesting. Yes. Go ahead.
Yeah, this was something that I had been also thinking for a long time.
Yeah.
I had applied for an exhibition in Helsinki in a very nice gallery sculpture studio. It's a small space in this gallery. I was lucky to get it also. And this installation is, when I look at you, do I see myself? And it is an homage to an Indian teacher, Sargadatta Maharishi, whose book, Your Life is a Dream. I was reading like in 1999 or something like that. 1989. And I was reading it and then I realized that, I don't understand this. I don't accept his teachings at all. So I stopped reading the book. I remember the stuff because I stopped when he was talking that if you look at somebody else, you are actually looking at yourself, that we are alike. We are the same. But I couldn't. How much I tried to understand it with my mind, I didn't understand. And that's, I thought, okay. I see a drunken person in the street and I am like the same. No, I am not. It was a very strong accent, I must say. But the years have passed and I have sort of, I'm been growing a little. So now I understand what he means. And actually we are alike. We are the same. We are made of the same materials and we have the same feelings. What we have different is our habits and culture. But on the basis, we are all the same. Same. We are alike. So we are made of the same spirit, same material, same clay, same earth. Okay. And I tried to sort of do this so that it's a very simple with an artificial intelligence. You would do that like in a but I did this. I wanted to take this. I didn't know how to do that. Of course, I knew about this, but no. I did these photos of my friends. They came with their spouse or with a friend, and we took photos. And then I put we took photos of each one, and then with a projector we reflected the photo of the one person on the face of the other person. And then I took photos from those again, so they are there. And then I with the technical support, because I didn't know how to do that. I was lucky to find Marco Tandefeld, who was sitting here, who constructed the whole thing, how you can do that in a gallery. The system is so that I am sitting there in front of this black canvas, black cloth.
Background,
Yeah. And there is a camera up there somewhere. It's somewhere you can't see it. And the camera is filming this person who is sitting in front of me. And the image, the film is going to a computer, and then it is going to
projecting on your face.
On my face. So it's really simple. I mean,
great. That is great.
The people, when they came to the gallery during the weekend, because we could arrange this only during weekends, they could come sit here if they come with their husband or wife or friend, and then they could see how they look if their face is projected on each other's face. And that was
wonderful.
That was quite popular also, but
sure.
It is in the video, you can now put it on. These are very short. Here is the Tina who sits, whose image is there, and her husband comes and sits in the chair, and Tina's face is now projected on his face. Their faces are very different. They have different proportions, so they look very different from what they are. It depends so much on how are the proportions of the face. And you can get like very scary pictures also.
Yeah, the images are surprising
and let's see the other one.
Interesting.
The next one, it's also short. And here is Soile, my friend, who was also singing in Venice.
Yeah.
Here is his husband, who he comes to sit on
Mhm.
there, and now Soilu's face is projected on
Oh, look.
face.
And it creates a different person.
It is.
It's amazing. Yeah.
And I couldn't, I'm asking here who is smiling, because I couldn't
Yes.
tell. And
Who
it
was smiling? Yeah.
was Soilu, the woman, was smiling.
Yeah, she was smiling.
Here is a sound, but if you can put that on.
Okay, let's see. Wow.
Nyt ei ole pahinta. Nyt ei ole pahinta kivaa. No niin, jos tässä on tietysti äänikin, jos Soilu rupeaa laulamaan, niin sitten...
Yeah, I suggested Soilu would sing. Okay. It looked like more like her husband than her.
No.
Okay, now we. Oh, it's the
Let's
same.
watch
Okay.
this one. Let's watch this one. Yeah.
Mä en tässä nyt näe, mutta onko sulla Mikko silmät kiinni vai auki?
Mm.
Joo. Ja nyt voi jompikumpi nauraa. Nosta Tiina vähän leukaa.
Very interesting. So people visiting the gallery could sit themselves and,
Yes.
you know, have one being projected on the other when they want, like two together.
Yeah, and then they would change to see, and then
Yes.
I took photos with my camera, with
Right.
my phone, and then I sent them right to them, so they got their own.
Great. Wonderful. Okay, so so now we can go to the Flashing Barbie, maybe.
Yeah, we can. Yes.
And this piece was also in Rome.
Yeah, I tried it in several places, and it was Mervi Apel who was shooting it, and we were in several places. But that, where there are many tourists, that's a good place, because Romans there on the ordinary streets, they are just so cool. They just walk by.
Yeah, they don't care. They don't have the time. So yeah. Okay, particular street.
Yeah, near
With lots of tourists. It's so great. I love it.
But can you see it? Because I don't.
Yes, we are watching it. We are watching.
I hope everybody else is, because I don't.
Yes.
I know what it is.
Yes, we see it.
I'll do it.
Stop, Joe. Joe.
It's amazing. Yeah, and you are in the same spot. You turn
Yeah, exactly.
and do the flashing and showing the naked Barbie doll.
That was also something that I really didn't realize what it has in that performance. And when I was in Circola and I was telling the others, there were other artists, and they said, oh, yes, okay, you think that's a great performance. Okay, yes, so
Really?
and then I started to realize what it can mean.
Yeah. No, it's really good. And somehow your face, it looks mischievous also, you know, it's like playful.
Yeah.
You're always very composed, concentrated, And here there is that, but at the same time there is this surprise. It's really good. And
Thank you.
yeah, and it finishes because the police needs to move the car in a street that is mostly for pedestrians.
Exactly. They were
Yeah.
back to their car. So
Yeah,
yeah,
they needed. So that was very interesting ending as well, coming from the context. No?
Yeah.
That was really okay, Helinä. This has been so wonderful. I thank you so much. I think this is going to be a piece that certainly, you know, it will be there in the site and remain there as part of the site. Yeah. So thank you so much and nice to see you.
Well, thank you for inviting.
Thank you.
No, please, it's our honor.
I'm very honored.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Alejandra.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you, Ale. Yeah, pleasure. Yeah. Ciao, ciao.